Hi guys, the ACCA exam is less than a week away, and I'm sure right now all of you are thinking about last minute tips. What do you need to cram? What do you need to learn? Which mock test? Which source? And in the midst of all that, there is a change that has been introduced by the ACCA in the Strategic Business Leader or the SBL exam. Now, I'm sure all of you are aware of the fact that till the previous attempt, that is the June 23 attempt, the SBL paper was a 4-hour exam, which was basically longer than all your other papers. The thing about the SBL exam is that it is, as so many people out there describe it, they call it a mini MBA. And why do they say that? The entire paper tests you on one case study from various aspects. It expects you to apply certain audit related points. It expects you to apply certain performance measurement related issues. It applies several other management and leadership frameworks and concepts, plus so many areas that make you a better business leader. Now, this paper back in the day was two separate papers, P1, Governance, Risk and Ethics, and P3, Business Analysis. They clubbed it together and made it one paper, that is SBL. Now, the 4-hour format of SBL went on for quite some time, wherein the entire paper was again a 100 marks exam, and students were asked to evaluate the data presented to them, understand it, and then answer the specific case study based questions that follow. From the September 2023 attempt, there is one major change that has been introduced in the SBL paper, and that is that there will be some pre-seen material that will be available. Now let's understand what exactly is this pre-seen material, what role does it play in the overall scheme of things, and how exactly do you need to prepare. What is the aim of the pre-seen material? It is to familiarize you with the industry that the question is talking about and the company that the question is talking about. So, what was earlier given to you within the exam as background about the industry and background about the company will now be presented in the pre-seen material, wherein you will have a decent amount of background information about the industry in which the company operates, and you will have a decent amount of background information about the company that is presented in the question. Mind you, this is background information. It is by no means indicative of the fact that question from, say, for example, Porter's 5 forces model is going to be tested. That is not the aim of the pre-seen material. The aim of the pre-seen material is to familiarize you with the industry and with the company so that when you go to the exam, you are better equipped in terms of what the question is going to present and the background information. Now, the first part is the industry information. Now, the question talks about the airline industry. Now, I'm sure some of you might know more about the airline industry than others, but in spite of that, do not be under the presumption that because you know about the airline industry, you can walk into the exam without reading this material. Read the material because a lot of information might be simplified and only the relevant information might be presented to you. When it comes to knowing about the company, which is the second part of the pre-seen material, there will be different parameters presented. Parameters of success, parameters of financial information, parameters of other non-financial performance indicators, so on and so forth. So, what the time that was spent in the exam reading about the company is now being utilized, is being given to you in the form of a pre-seen material so that you familiarize yourself with this information and then walk into the exam hall better equipped. Remember, you are not expected to do any further analysis of the industry. Your understanding, your answer, your approach, everything has to be restricted to the information that is presented in front of you. Do not try to do extra research. Do not try to add your own flavor to it, because ultimately, remember one thing, that the question that is there in the SBL exam is about a fictitious organization in a fictitious country with certain conditions about the economy thrown in here and there, which is why you cannot bring every flavor about the economy or about the industry that you are aware of into your answer. I'm sure all of you are aware of the fact that the SBL paper is a closed book exam, which means you cannot carry annotated pre-seen material on which you have done your research to the paper. Also, expecting you to make annotations and make detailed paragraphs before going to the exam is not expected. The expectation is get familiar so that when you are constructing the answer tomorrow, you know what are the parameters around which the answer has to be constructed, what should be the logical sequencing, what are certain areas that need more emphasis from you. Do not take the pre-seen material as a representative of the fact that questions are going to come from a particular area of the syllabus. As you all know, SBL, I'm repeating, is a case study paper. So your answer has to be framed according to the question that is presented in front of you. You know, for example, the concept of Porter's 5 forces model. Now, there are multiple ways in which this concept can be tested. You know the elements, you know the theory, but your answer has to always be mapped to the actual requirement of the question. One recommendation that I always give the students is, be it SBL or be it any other paper, you have the background information with you. Make sure that when you are writing the paper, you read the requirements of the question first. Read the requirements of the question first and then start reading the passages and the exhibits given in front of you. You have a highlighting tool in your exam window. Make sure that you use the highlighting tool properly to make notes and make a mind map before you start venturing to frame the final answer. One common, what's the right word? One common mistake that all of us make is we start predicting the questions. Oh, this talks about competitive advantage and disadvantage. Maybe it is going to test me from a particular part of the syllabus. Avoid doing that. Your only aim with the pre-seen material has to be to absorb as much information as you can and then take the knowledge of this information with you to the exam to, as I said, framing answers to a better effect. Also, because now the pre-seen material is available to you, the duration of the exam is lesser. It's not 4 hours anymore. It's 3 hours, 15 minutes. In the next part of the video, what we are going to do is I will give you a brief rundown of the pre-seen material that has been released for this attempt, and then you can decide how to take it ahead. Thank you. If you like the content on our channel, I would recommend that you like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with all the interested parties. Thank you.